Howdy, this is just a short little video. I'm actually in the middle of working on two very big videos. One about Christian Universalist churches, congregations in the United States, so churches in the United States that are Christian Universalist. And the other is a one about the spirit world stuff where I react to a video I've recently seen. I think both of those would be very interesting videos to watch. But real quickly, when I watched my last video, I was really, inspired by the old logo of the Universalist Church. And a while back, I made my profile picture or whatever it's called. It's the symbol of the channel now. The old seal, the General Universalist Convention. And by far the most iconic part of that, seal is the line, "Christ will conquer." Well, that's taken from the book of Revelation, chapter 17, verse 14. And I thought it was a very interesting verse for us Christian Universalists today and just Christians more generally. These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them. For he is Lord, Lord of lords, King of kings, and they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful. That's from the book of Revelation, which of course is a very hard book to understand, but that is, of course, a very fascinating line. And I just think today it feels like evil has overcome. I mean, I think most Christians are so doomsday. I know so many Christians that all they can think about is, oh, when's Jesus come back? When Jesus come back? When Jesus come back? And they think the world is so far gone. And for me, Jesus comes back when he comes back. I don't speculate on the matter. He comes back when he wills. He says, these are the last days, and he'll come back when he wants. I don't really spend too much time thinking about it because he'll come back when he wants to. But for me, it's just where a lot of people see despair and something to be feared, I see opportunity. I think that right now in the current day, whether you're young or old, no matter what country you live in, I think that there is massive opportunity to reach people for Christ that just isn't there, that wasn't there before. I think right now we are living in a golden age of opportunity to witness or minister, whatever you want to call it. I think we're living in a golden age of opportunity. And more generally, as Christian Universalists, I think we can feel very disparaged. I mean, that beautiful line, "Christ will conquer," and that beautiful little logo was made by a denomination that was ultimately, for the most part, conquered over by, Satan. And it just, honestly, it feels so ironic that their logo, their old logo, say "Christ will conquer," and then the denomination ended up being conquered by the devil. I mean, the majority of the denomination, some small parts of it remained orthodox, but I still think that that's incredibly relevant today. Instead of being disparaged by the end of the National Universalist Church, and generally how Christian Universalism has been widely persecuted in the Christian world for about 1,500 years or so now, we are definitely people that have constantly have setbacks after setbacks after setbacks. We have these, brief little moments where universalism's, it sees a revival. The most obvious example, of course, is the Christian Universalist Church, but we saw small renaissances of universalism here and there. And then, of course, we just keep getting set back. And for me, I find massive, solace in that verse, "Christ will conquer." We have to have faith that we have the truth, that we are preaching the purest form of Christianity. And, Jesus said, I'm paraphrasing a bit, the world hated me, of course they'll hate you. So I think that, I don't think it's any surprise that the world, and the Christian world at that, hates us so much. It's because we are preaching the truth. We're preaching what Jesus Christ taught. And of course the world's going to hate that. So I know it's very discouraging. One thing I was really thinking about a lot was this video I'm working on about Universalist churches across the U.S. is, how lonely it really is to be a Christian Universalist. For most of us, we have to pick between conservative churches where you couldn't be an open Christian Universalist, or liberal churches where you can be an open Christian Universalist, but they're not very good at emphasizing a large swaths of the gospel. And it's more of a spectrum of churches, but, it's just, I find massive solace in that verse, "Christ will conquer." And I definitely do think that even though Christian Universalism is small and weak, I do think ultimately Christ will conquer. I think of the parable of the mustard seed. I think right now we are the little mustard seed. And I think with the age of the internet and just a massive spiritual darkness in the church, I do think that slowly but surely Christian Universalism will begin to grow, because it actually has been growing. Even though the Universalist Church failed, Christian Universalism actually has been gaining ground since the 19th century or the 18th century. Actually, the Protestant Reformation kind of did its job in opening up the door for Universalism, and really, we've actually been steadily growing ever since. Yeah, more liberal universalism is often the universalism being pushed, or it's kind of more hopeful universalism like you see in the Catholic Church. But even though we lost our denomination, that was a big setback. Universalism actually has been gaining ground. And though we're not the big names of the Christian world, with the exclusion of figures like David Bentley Hart, um, we don't have a lot of big names under our belt in the mainstream Christian world. We are gaining ground in all churches, all denominations, and I think that's something to celebrate. Christ is making good on his promise that he will conquer, and I do believe that the words in that little old logo, which I still think we should use today, um, Christ will conquer, will come true. I really do believe that we'll, slow and steady wins the race. I think that really is the path for the universalists. We will be persecuted a great deal by both secular people and Christians alike, and we will see many setbacks, but we will conquer. I do believe that good will conquer over evil, that God will conquer over Satan, and I do believe that slowly but surely we will slowly take Christianity. Slowly but surely, the Christian world is waking up to the truth. You see it in the last 100 years. I mean, the church talks about hell a very different way than it used to. It used to be hell's this little place of fire and sulfur and brimstone, and everybody who's not this particular sect of Christianity is going to hell. But people don't really talk that much anymore unless you're a fundamentalist. People now are increasingly willing to accept that all Christians are going to, all people who are, have faith in Christ are going to make it to heaven. A lot of people are coming to accept that. People that have never heard the gospel have a chance to be saved. And just how the church talks about hell in general is very different than it used to be. And I think all these are massive hopes. Now, of course, I'm not going to act like that it's just going to go perfectly forever. For instance, we see this new trad movement. I think there's a lot of good in this new trad movement. It's a traditionalist Christian movement, mostly people in the Orthodox Church and the Catholic Church, but also a strong new Protestant movement. And they are very big on bringing back traditional eternal damnation theology. They're very big on eternal hell, eternal damnation, and they're trying to bring back that stuff. But even if that is a setback for us in the short run, I do think slowly but surely Christ will conquer. And I find massive just peace in those three little words, Christ will conquer, because they're true. It's based off Scripture. It's a true fact. And I do believe that even if it's very slow, that slowly but surely the little mustard seed will grow into a mighty tree, the mightiest in the world, and the whole world will one day know the truth. I know it seems so far off, so crazy now, but God can and will do many things. I don't think every Christian will become Christian Universalist. Even in the early church, not every Christian was a Universalist, but I do think that we will grow massively in our influence. I think really the best thing that Christian Universalists can do is just stop living a lie. What I mean is just stop hiding. If just don't lie. Just be honest with people. Don't do it in like a Bible thumping way. Like a lot of people, they're very cringe, for lack of better words, when they talk about Jesus. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people, they turn people away from Christianity because they handle it wrong. And one thing I learned, when I first became a Christian Universalist, I thought, oh, well, all these people that are turned off from Christianity, well, if I just tell them about true Christianity, they're going to be like, oh, yeah, Christianity, Christianity, Christianity. But what I've learned with talking with people in real life is some people that already kind of lean and are interested in Christianity, when they hear about Christian Universalism, do become more interested in Christianity. But people that don't really have much interest in Christianity or can't get over basic stumbling blocks like, is there a God, or miracles, or the reliability of the Bible, are not going to become Christians, most likely because you tell them about Christian Universalism. But I do believe that slowly but surely we will conquer. And I just don't live a lie, is what I was saying, is just be honest. When you go to a church, I myself am a lot more honest. Like I will, every time I go to a church now, I ask the minister, do you think eventually there's at least a hope that all people can be saved? I'm will it be conservative or liberal? Maybe if it's like Bible thumping, independent Baptist church, I probably won't do that. But in a church that I think, there's at least some potential, I will ask that question. Do you think all people can one day be saved? And I think that we should just be honest. I think we should be a people of faith. What I mean is that we have all these odds against us as Universalists, but we do have one thing going for us, and that's our faith. I think of Jesus in the gospel. He says, your faith has made you well. And I think that we should just be a people of faith, a people that no matter what, just keep going, even with all the persecution, all the hate from secular people and Christians alike. Even though we're cast out of churches and hated, I just think that we should just be honest and keep preaching the truth and keep a Christian character. I do think that if we do stand up to persecution and keep our faith, even though it'll be very hard, I do think that that will draw a lot of people in. Well, y'all have a good day. God bless. I hope you found that of interest. Stay tuned. I'm hoping to get both of those videos out soon. I'm working really hard on this church list. And please do me a favor. If you know of any Christian Universalist churches in your area, or any Christian Universalist churches you know about, I do know about a few from different resources, all the ones that everybody knows. But just any church you know about that is open to Christian Universalism or is Christian Universalist is more proper there. Is a Christian Universalist church near you? Please, leave it down in the comments below. We all have a good day. God bless, and thank you for watching.